Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network.
What's up, buddy boy?
What's up, man? Good morning.
Nothing. I got questions for you today.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You also have story time.
I got a story for you today.
I'm excited. Kyler Murray made the highest paid quarterback in football yesterday.
You're going to have to explain that one to me.
Oh, believe me, I have the perfect...
Oh, you know what happened?
Not only do I have the perfect explanation,
good for
I also
you.
was told something that, will make sense to everybody at home, hopefully, and you as well.
Yeah, shut your mouth, because I'm confused. I don't think the dude's that good.
We'll get to that at, 8:30. 8:15 coming up. The Pistons over-under win set at 27.5. I'm sure we were all confident. I believe last year when it was 24.5. We'll talk about that.
You know what? Don't we say over for every Detroit sports team, and we're wrong?
It's been...
At least recently?
Recently. The last 6 months haven't been the best. We're just going to ignore the losses, Terry. We're going to ignore the losses.
So are we going to screw up on the Lions, too?
Man, you know what? I'll say this about the Lions. At what are they, 6.5?
6.5.
If that over doesn't hit, I'm going to be calling out some motherfuckers.
Oh,
that's all I'm going to say.
Do you know in Las Vegas, the Lions over 6.5?
This is the most bet, correct?
It's the most bet in the NFL. So
it's a good line. Again, you look at the schedule, forget who it is, right? It is the Lions, the allure, but it's still a solid number to bet on. As a betting man, I don't understand the Dan Campbell Coach of the Year, even though they're long shot odds. I get it. You put down $20, $30, pays out 100 times that, whatever. I don't care. Not my kind of bet, but I get it. I get it. It's a very good number.
I think people look in that bet that if it hits, you're going to make a lot of money.
That's how it is. It's something low risk, high reward. Right. Consider it that. And with the Lions over under, I would consider it just a fairly priced money line.
But you know what we said about the Tigers this year? How in the hell can the over under only be 77
when they won
73 the year before? Now, there's no way in hell they're going to reach 77 or 73 maybe.
For that fact, they're not reaching 73, especially with the way they're playing. 9 o'clock, Terry, I'm going to reveal my top 10 head coaches in the NFL to you. Curious to see what you think. But we'll start off the day with Tarik Skubal on the mound yesterday. Okay. Tigers return, doubleheader action. They split the series. And like the Tigers always do, by the way, not only do they botch an ongoing no-hitter, but they get shut out the second game. And that's the Tigers baseball I'm accustomed to. I'm actually very happy about last night. I am very happy about the second game. I am glad they got shut out. You know why, Terry? Because I didn't have to come in today on a Friday morning and say, the Tigers, they 2-0 since the All-Star break. I didn't have to hear that.
I hope you'd be smart enough not to say that anyway.
I'd have to hear it.
I know, not
only would I have to hear it, we would be talking. I love it. The Tigers didn't waste any time yesterday. Tarik Skubal gave you a hell of a performance, and then the following game, they didn't score a run. Things I have grown accustomed to with this Detroit Tigers team. Not surprised. I'm glad they didn't wait long to get shut out. It's the 14th time, by the way, that they've been shut out this year.
That's sad.
The year they went 47 and 115 or 114. How many shutouts did they have that entire season? Take a guess.
17.
14. We are 2 games after the All-Star break.
Damn.
And the Tigers have matched as many shutout performances, which isn't a good thing, by the way. That's pathetic. Team can't hit.
It's your team.
Hey, whoa.
Led by your guy.
I don't own him. Not my team.
You know, I discovered another reason why your boy Avila stinks. I read a story, 15 teams who were in the Juan Soto sweepstakes because they have farm prospects of teams that Philly might want. They have young guys that Philly might want. You know what? The Tigers didn't even make that. So there, in other words, there's not even a collection of young guys you can put together to interest the Phillies in trading Juan Soto for you. But there's 15 teams in Major League Baseball that have such prospects, and the Tigers are not one of them. So if you're going to stink on the parent club, at least have a hell of a farm system.
Well,
or
that's
a bunch
all
of
I ever
guys
hear.
coming up.
That's all I ever hear. You know, it's funny. You know, I did some research on the Yankees. Curious how the Yankees are where they are. Outside of maybe 1-2 prospects at most that they have relied on, the rest have hit. All of them. All of them are in the rotation. They're relieving. They're in the bullpen. They're in the everyday lineup. Yes, the Yankees spend. But a team that's drafting in the mid to late first round is further along, of course, not surprised, by a team that's finished bottom 5, bottom 10 for the last 8 years. And you look at this team, Terry, it's depressing. Depressing to even look at the lineup. You look at the card. We sent Spencer Torkelson down, you know, so everything's going to change. Everyone's going to start swinging the bats better. You know, Torkelson clearly is the problem.
No. He just need. I don't think they're looking at him as a problem. He needed to get out of this this haunted house of non-hitters. He needs to be somewhere else where he can learn how to hit.
He knows how to hit.
You know, he needs to be away from these losers.
He knows how to hit. And not only does he know how to hit, one of the more frustrating things is they said they didn't want him down the stretch batting in high-pressure moments.
What high-pressure moments?
That's what I'm saying. You are a losing team. Get him as many at-bats as needed. If he is struggling at the plate, you don't magically go down a 2-ball, a AAA ball. It doesn't work like this. You don't just go down. Sometimes, you know, you get a little confidence boost, but it's not like he's unproven. He's hit at A-ball, AA ball, and AAA ball. He's hit at all the levels. He's hit. And not only hit, he's hit at a high level.
Yeah, but you know what I think they're going for? The Max Scherzer factor. Max Scherzer, who now is one of the best pitchers in baseball, struggled here. They sent him to Toledo. He came back, and he was Max Scherzer all of a sudden. So maybe they're hoping that happens with Torkelson. I don't know, bro. That's the only thing I can explain.
Man, I'm not sure what to tell you.
I would have sent him down because that's what I'm hoping for. That they find some magic for him that they did with
There's no
Scherzer.
magic to fix Spencer Torkelson because only he can fix it. And there is no magic in the minor league system. You know why, Terry? Because under Avila's tenure, this has been one of, if not the worst ball club in all of baseball. Not in terms of on-the-field product, player development. The absolute worst. The absolute worst. And last season, you got a little glimpse of, oh my goodness, A.J. Hinch doing a really good job. Is Akil Baddoo, Scope, Grossman, oh my God.
You can make fun of Akil Baddoo. He's got his own commercial now. He's sharing it with Riley Green. So he's arrived, brother.
God damn it, man. This is a team that struggles with. It's not just the GM. It's not just the coach. It's not just the roster. It is a fundamental issue with the entire organization that, by the way, Avila is responsible and in charge of. And that is to develop players. Alex Faedo, right? That's the one I love when people tell me, oh, look at Alex Faedo. First-round pick. Late first-round pick. I believe a second-round pick. No, Faedo was a first-round pick, actually. Well, look at his development. You know, I get it. You lower your standards a bit. +5 ERA, no problem. It works for us. Works in this town. It's all good. Player development. You have no idea. This isn't just a get rid of Avila talk anymore. This is a gut the entire front office. Everybody working in upper management needs to go. And they're not going to do it, Terry. But that's the solution.
No, that is true. And what's going to happen, 4 years from now, we're going to be bitching about the Tigers. Still not a playoff contender, middle of the road if they're lucky. And then you're going to have a decade of being non-competitive in an uncompetitive division. That's the worst part. It's not like they're in the AL East. This is the worst division in baseball, and you still can't compete. You won't be able to compete in this division for a decade. That's what we're going to be bitching about in 3 years. and it's going to be ugly, ugly, ugly. Now, if your boy Al is still in charge, I don't know what to say. If you haven't dressed up as Al Avila by then with a condom on top of your head, I'm never speaking to you again.
I'll tell you what, the day Al Avila is fired, if you think me smoking or anything I've done on this show is bad, wait till that day.
Okay.
I'm going to bring that one-legged stripper for you.
Oh, the one behind. I can't wait.
I'm going to bring the one-legged stripper. We're going to have a band in the background playing live music. We're going to have more strippers on the desk.
Oh, how do you not?
I'll be in one of my more expensive suits.
Mm.
Glasses on, smokes out. You'll be smoking with me. And we may, don't worry, it'll be a show. That'll be one of the greatest days of my life. Sadly.
Adam's going to bring out his expensive suit. He's going to bring out his $200 Gap suit. Go on with your bad self.
Oh, man. Let's take a quick break. When we get back, the Pistons over-under set at 27.5. Will they win more than that this upcoming season? Some are saying maybe even playoffs. We'll get to that in just a bit. But before we go, Fish, I need you to tell everybody at home about our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
I would love to. Well, Adham, Beydoun, the Sports Marketing Agency, helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. The new podcast, This is the F Word, helps spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions. Go to thesportsma.com if you are struggling or know someone who is. You're watching the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, the Bowling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling game. If you want to play with Adham, Beydoun, or Terry Foster, they're pretty good bowlers. 2 ways to play: $12 unlimited open play or $120 lane reservations up to 10 people. They have a mystery beer machine, $2 mystery beer. You can get some good beers out of that, Terry Foster.
Fish, you don't know a goddamn thing about beer.
What?
You don't know a goddamn thing about beer.
I don't drink it, but that doesn't mean I don't know a thing about beer.
That's why he said me. I know something about beer.
It's called common sense.
I appreciate it, Fish. I don't have any, clearly.
I think you do. Check it out. Go to thefowlingwarehouse.com for more information and maybe get Adham Beydoun happy by playing bowling. Does that make you happy, Adham, Bowling Warehouse?
Yeah, of course. I like bowling. I think it's a neat game. It's a good date game. Or something you go on a double date with your best friend and his significant other. I think it's a good time. I like it. Drink some beers. Forget about fish.
Have you done the $2 bill or beer, or do you do the high end?
No, I do the high end stuff. I'm not much of my beer.
What's your beer choice?
My beer choice. I'm a Miller Lite and a Heineken guy.
Miller Lite. Yeah, I guess everybody drinks that.
Well, you don't like Miller Lite?
That's a standard
I thought
beer.
You were gonna say Miller High Life.
Oh no. That's the standard in a cooler. You're just grabbing it out and you're drinking it, but whatever, it's irrelevant. Detroit Pistons this morning. Terry open up 27.5 wins. They were a 22 win team last season or a 23, one of the two. I believe
24.
I think they were a 23 win team last season.
Well, it wasn't many. How about that?
It wasn't a lot. Yeah, they were 23 and 59. Yep.
Okay.
So they were 23 and 59. This was a team that wasn't healthy a majority of the year, but down the stretch, like we said, they covered 19 straight games. Right? They were a good bet in Vegas, but they weren't winning many games. Having said that, It's tough for me to sit here in front of you, Terry, and be totally transparent. I don't think it's a playoff team this year, but you can't tell me that's not a 28, 29, 30 win team this year. You can't tell me that the second season of an up and coming star player, the third season of a rising all-star potentially in Sadiq Bey, and now you have a rookie hyper athletic guard in Jaden Ivey, along with some experience on the wings, some experience at the 4 and 5 position. Marvin Bagley returns. Killian Hayes giving you good minutes, ideally. Isaiah Liver. I'm not saying it's a playoff team. And I don't think they're going to be 17, 18 games better than last year, which is what they would have needed to get into the play-in. But that over is what, again, it's a friendly line. And Vegas seems to do this every year, where you feel good about it, but they end up being right. Last season, I believe they were set at 24, 25.5. I smashed the over on that. Totally wrong. This year, I'm looking at 27.5 wins. How do you go through an 82-game schedule and not win 30 games with that young team?
Well, young. That's why. Youth, a lot of times, doesn't play as well on the road as they do at home. Youth often fizzles in the last 3 or 4 minutes of a game because the veteran teams know, or the veteran players know what to do to close out a close game. That's why Vegas is saying 27.5 games, but I might be a fool. I don't see how the Pistons win anything fewer than 30 games. I'm going to say they're going to win 30 to 31 games. But more times than not, when it comes to the home team, we believe in our team. We believe that they're going to win more games than Vegas says. But Vegas, they don't build all those big casinos for nothing. They know what they're doing. They don't have the emotion in these franchises like we do. But you know what? I think that's everywhere because I've been to Vegas for the NCAA tournament, and I've talked to people in the casino in the gaming industry, and they say they love when a guy comes up to the counter and is wearing a Michigan State or Iowa State shirt or Michigan shirt, because they know they're going to bet on their team no matter what. These prop bets Vegas loves, because they know everybody from Boston is going to bet the over, everybody from Detroit's going to bet the over, everybody from Chicago is going to bet the over on their team. Now, where it evens out, you may look at the Bulls and they say, oh, the Bulls are going to win 35 games. Somebody from Detroit, Boston, or Miami may vote or pick the under for an out-of-town team, but you put so much money on your team because you know they're going to go over that it kind of balances it out, and Vegas is usually ahead on this. So I'm wondering if we're falling for the fake again. I, as an individual, can't see the Pistons winning any less than 30 games. Vegas is telling me, nope, 27.5.
As a Pistons supporter, I agree. As a betting man, the issue I have with this team, which wouldn't surprise me why somebody would take the under, is they're young. And what happens with young teams? They peak, and then they fall. And then they peak again, and then they fall. They're very inconsistent. Valleys and peaks, right? You go all the way to the top, and then you fall down. You go all the way to the top, and you fall down. And that's what young teams consistently are.
And
they're
here's
erratic.
one thing that you can almost guarantee. Jaden Ivey is going to turn into a pumpkin sometime in January. He may come out lighting it up. We're like, damn, this dude is good. Better than we thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
But then in January, he's going to hit that wall. He's going to be like another guy.
Who knows?
And we don't know how long that's going to last.
Well, one of the concerns, and actually it's the biggest concern I have with this basketball team, is Dwayne Casey. Is he here for player development, or is he trying to coach this team up and win games? You know, there's a team out in Memphis who, yes, have John Morant, and he's phenomenal, and he is the engine that runs that team. But if I recall last season, they did have a historic record without him in games he missed.
Yeah, they still win without him.
I want to say it was 20-2, and you know, you look at Memphis, you have Desmond Bane, you have Jaren Jackson Jr., nice players, really nice players. But you're not looking at those individuals and saying you can supplement John Morant, but they did, with very good coaching, with a very aggressive style of defense, very good in the transition. Again, not surprised that they won the games, but you have a team that won 20 games last season in Memphis without Ja. And you look at this Pistons team. I know it's young, but geez, it's tough for me to look at Vegas with a straight face and say, you're giving me 27.5, that's it? Oh, I'm going over.
Right.
I said that last year. It's a tricky situation.
Well, critical question. When the Pistons win their first playoff series, would Dwayne Casey be the coach?
No. No. Dwayne Casey, for me, and I hope I'm wrong, he's actually a really good guy, by the way, but it's not personal. I see him as the stopgap coach. This is the guy that'll go through all the bad years for you at the moment. He's going to have some really good seasons with you. He'll probably get a 48, 50 win season if he's here long enough. But you're going to go in another direction eventually. You're going to want to make your Mark Jackson to Steve Kerr jump. Now, will you be at that point in this build where you're ready to compete for a championship? Who knows? But I don't believe so, no. With Dwayne Casey, I just don't.
I believe this. When they win their first playoff series, Dwayne Casey will be the coach. But when they win their second one, and I'm talking about playoff series, which will probably come the following season, he won't be the coach. Winning a playoff series in the NBA is sort of like, so what? But, you know, for the Pistons, that's a big deal and everything. But I still think he'll be the coach for that. But he won't be there when it's time for them. If you can win 2 playoff series, it means you're a semi-threat. And he won't be the coach then. They will figure something out that, you know, he's not quite the guy and they have to go in a different direction.
What's the timeline for Dwayne Casey, if we're honest? A playoff appearance next season, not this upcoming one, but the one following?
Yeah.
A playoff series the year after? We're looking at 3 seasons from now. I like Dwayne. I think he was done wrong a bit in Toronto, but also Nick Nurse, just the way things timed out, it worked out. It just did.
Yeah,
would it have worked out?
Nick Nurse had a killer.
He did.
Dwayne Casey did not have. Dwayne Casey had
DeMar DeRozan.
And at that time of his career, DeRozan was the choker.
Yep.
You couldn't trust him in a big game to save your life.
I think
then
that's
they
the
bring
thing.
in Kawhi Leonard, who's like, at that time.
Let's call it what it was. It was a stroke of luck.
Mm-hmm.
It was a year where the NBA didn't make sense, where the Raptors came out of the East, and that Game 7 shot against Philly. You guys remember?
Bounced off the rim 18 times.
And then Golden State falling apart with injuries. Breaking up that would have been dynasty. Okay? And then what they do the year after is go 53-19, and then 27-45. And then this past season, 48-34. So it's not like the Raptors are, like they hoard themselves out for 1 year and then, well, it's all falling apart now. Nick Nurse is doing a good job of player development still. They're doing good things there. They're further along in terms of winning than the Pistons are. But, Dwayne, when does the coaching start impacting what happens on the court? Because he's a good coach. Dwayne Casey is a good coach. But is he the coach?
He is. But when he was the coach in Toronto, I went there for, a few games. And I talked to people about Dwayne Casey. And they would always say he's a good coach. But when you ask him a question, you'd always get this. So when you hear, that tells me there's a problem there, even though you're about to say this guy is Jesus.
And I'm just saying, this is not the Detroit Lions organization. This is the Detroit Pistons. You've had Coach Daly. You've had Carlisle. You've had Coach Brown. You know what a good coach looks like in this town. Mm-hmm. Don't fool me. Don't try to play stupid with me. Dwayne is a good coach, Adam. We believe in him. And he's going to win us another 23 games this year, but we're going to be okay.
What accent is this?
I don't want to hear... No. It comes out of a good place, though. What I mean by that is you've all experienced what a true leader and winner looks like. Can you tell me with confidence you believe Dwayne Casey is going to be that here in Detroit? I personally say no. I hope I'm wrong. But I'm going to say no.
Well, here's the thing that I haven't seen out of Dwayne Casey, and we're talking about great leadership. Larry Brown. Well, I knew Larry Brown was only going to be here for a short amount of time, but when he was the coach, he recognized one thing: Chauncey Billups wasn't what he needed to be for them to be a championship team. So Larry Brown worked on Chauncey Billups. They worked together to the point where Chauncey couldn't stand Larry Brown. But Larry Brown was brought here to win a championship. He wasn't brought here to win 50 games or 60 games. He was here to bring a championship, because Rick Carlisle was a very good coach. Rick Carlisle may have been able to win that championship, but he pissed off Bill Davison. He pissed off people in the organization, so they had to go in a different direction. And if you need a coach for 1 year and your goal is to win a championship in the NBA, you're probably picking Larry Brown.
100%. And again, that's your evolution. It's so young. Dwayne Casey's going to be around, in my opinion, the next 2-3 years minimum. But you have to look forward to things. And his time in Toronto had always ended in disappointment. What's to make me believe it won't be the same here in Detroit? But regardless, Tarik, Kyler Murray paid the most expensive contract in NFL history.
Second.
Well, excuse me. And he's the highest paid quarterback currently, annually, in NFL history. I apologize. Annually, he's getting more than anybody else, including Patrick Mahomes, including Josh Allen, which is ridiculous. But we'll get to that in just a bit. Before we do, I need to tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. They're awesome. Stylists will take care of you like they take care of me. Get to a Lady Jane's near you. Again, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. No appointment necessary. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency, and SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. You know, at Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Alrighty, Odds Trader is the #1 site for all your game day bets, play-by-play updates, live scores, and more. They have multiple sports books. They have the best price for every single game in the world of sports. If you want to bet on Canadian Football League, Friday Night Football, Blue Bombers and the Elks, should be a pretty good game. No? Okay. Anyways, WNBA, MLB, go Tigers. Go to oddstrader.com for all your best bets today.
God bless you. God bless you, Fish. Shut the hell up. Go to the booth. Get up, walk
I'm
away.
not betting on the CFL. Sorry.
I'm not betting on the... Shut up. Mute your mic. Mute your
There
mic.
was a fantastic
mute
game
your mic. You
yesterday.
made it 31 minutes without me telling you to shut the hell up and muting your mic. Good job. It's an all-time record. Well done. Shut the hell up now. Terry Foster, I have some inside information for you.
All right. Can't wait.
All right. Now
You're going to explain this Kyler Murray
I need to
thing
explain this Kyler Murray situation.
All right. I like inside info.
So, first of all, Alex, you're probably going to have to adjust the camera. Let's examine the entire situation before the contract. Who is Kyler Murray? Well, this is me, correct?
Yes.
I'm a white male individual, roughly 5'11". Here I am,
hair
roughly.
and a beard.
And here's Kyler Murray, quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals.
A little bit shorter.
Much shorter. And he is now the highest paid quarterback annually in all of football. Terry, the contract, I can defend it this morning.
I can't wait. I'm excited.
And as someone that hates and hated the Dak Prescott contract, you know, somebody I do love, Dan Orlovsky, he came out with a list recently. Players you win because of and players you win with. There's a big difference.
There is.
And Dak Prescott, and I agree with Dan Orlovsky on this one, Dak Prescott is a quarterback you win with. I believe Kyler Murray is a quarterback you win because of. And you've seen him have to play hero ball during his time in Arizona. And although I don't like the money involved, Terry, 5 years ago, the world was going to collapse when Matthew Stafford got a 5-year, $135 million contract in Detroit. The world was ready to lose its mind until I believe Matt Ryan at the time took it after, or Jared Goff shortly after. Beyond the point. Beyond the point. I can justify the $50 million because if Kyler Murray walks out of that door, the Arizona Cardinals will be irrelevant for the next 10, 15 years. And they are relevant right now because of Kyler Murray. They are irrelevant. We consider them a playoff team because they have the quarterback position figured out. Is Kyler Murray a top 10 quarterback for me? No, not at the moment. I think he's 11 or 12. He's just outside of it. Damn good quarterback. His one flaw is his height. Can he stand in the pocket consistently and deliver throws? You see him moving all the time. That is designed because he needs to see the field. So
he needs a booster sheet.
He does. He just does. So I have a lot of problems with him as a player, what his ceiling is. Do I think he's a Super Bowl quarterback where you want to start your franchise with right now over any quarterback in the league? Absolutely not. But I think he is damn talented. I think he's a franchise quarterback. I think he's someone you can win divisions, win playoff games with. But tying up $50 million, the cap is going up over the next few years. Let's all act like inflation doesn't exist and the salaries don't rise and players get paid more and more as time goes on. This is just the next contract, and in 3 years from now, we're going to be talking about the quarterback who got a $55 million annual contract, the quarterback that gets a $60 million annual contract. And didn't I tell you, Terry, the other day that the first billion-dollar contract will be in the NFL? That's why.
You did say that because it is coming, and you will see it.
And it will be at the quarterback position, and you'll be alive for it because it will happen the next 10 to 15 years. It will happen. We will go from $50 million this year to 60, 65 in 3 to 7 years. And double that, it'll be roughly around 80, 85 million. Somebody will offer a 10, 12-year deal, and that'll be your first billion-dollar contract.
Amazing. Now, let me ask you a critical question.
Go for it.
You are the general manager of the Adham Panthers.
Okay.
And you're starting a franchise. You can have Kyler Murray, but you got to pay him $46.1 million a year.
Mm-hmm. Is that my only choice?
That's your only choice.
Okay.
It's either to go with him or draft a young quarterback and develop him.
I would pay Kyler Murray $46 million.
Okay.
I'd pay Kyler Murray. One, my franchise is more relevant. Yes, I am selling seats. But from a GM perspective, from a coaching perspective, he has capable tools. He's just a shorter version of Russell Wilson. He has it about him. You've seen him win you tons of games. The problem we're seeing now with Kyler Murray is if you set the edges, if you can set the edge and the tone at the defensive line position, you can control Kyler Murray, and you can make him uncomfortable in the pocket. And what Kyler loves to do is maneuver in and out of the pocket and release the ball on the run typically. Why? Because that's just his nature. He's a former baseball player, damn good one, and you can tell he is just by the way he slides, the way he drops the ball in. Again, a lot of good things I like about Kyler. Do I think the contract is ridiculous? Yes. But he is a quarterback I believe you win because of. Not if he's in the Dak Prescott conversation, the Ryan Tannehill conversation, I'd be up here blasting this contract. But this is a guy who I would say on 32 NFL executives lists, he would be in the top 10. And if I were to tell you the 5 young quarterbacks right now who are 24 or less and have played 3 or 4 seasons or less, who are the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL that are that young, you tell me Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, no specific order, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray. He's part of that conversation. You pay him the money.
Okay, you say pay him, but it's still a bad contract.
It's not a bad it's a lot of money. Do I think he should be getting paid more than Mahomes and Allen? No. But that's the market. And what's going to happen when the Trevor Lawrences and these guys, let's say they hit and they become very good quarterbacks? What happens when their contracts are up? They will get more than Kyler Murray. And maybe it's deserved, maybe it's not. But it's irrelevant because the market is what it is. You pay Jared Goff $35 million. You pay Kirk Cousins $35 million. That's just the market. That is a marquee position. And yes, people can argue, well, that's why you want to go out and get a rookie contract. Yeah, no, of course. Who's winning with rookie contracts recently? Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? That's nice. That's ending this season. Like, you have your sample data, and it's correct. But at the end of the day, you pay your quarterbacks. Not everybody is married to Giselle, and they take $15, $20 million a year like Brady did all his career. That's not a reality.
He took $1 million one year.
You can't expect your quarterbacks to do that. So the harsh truth is, do I like the money involved? No, but I would pay it. Because I think he's one of those guys. I think he's one of the 11, 12 quarterbacks in this league that you win because of. You win because of Lamar. You win because of Burrow. You win because of Brady, Rodgers, Stafford. You win because of Derek Carr. You win because of Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. You win because of these guys.
That's true,
Kyler
but I
Murray.
also think you lose because of Kyler Murray.
Of course, of course.
Particularly later in the season.
Yeah, look,
doesn't have sustaining power.
Maybe I'm a bit naive, but I'm not a big fan of Kingsbury right now. You consistently falling off in the second half of the season is concerning to me, including with Kyler. But
that may be more of a coaching thing because that's what
I would say.
Kingsbury
It's 55% coaching, 45% the player being hurt towards the end, and that's another problem, right? His tendency to get hurt because of how much he runs, how much he gets out of the pocket, how much he allows himself to take maybe unnecessary hits. So, I have a lot of concerns with Kyler, but that doesn't change the fact that he's one of the 10, 11 guys in the NFL that you win because of. And those guys I am willing to eat a big contract for because I know if I have a few players less than I'd like to, this guy can make up for it. I know that when Jared Goff is my quarterback, I can't afford that. I need those extra players to make him better. Dak Prescott, when the talent has diminished on his team, he's only gotten worse. He came in, everything was amazing. One of the greatest offensive lines in the last 20 years. DeMarco Murray, Ezekiel Elliott, everything was great. And then the line got old. And the run game didn't get as effective. And he had to throw the ball more. And, well, they started winning less games. Oops.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen with the guys you win because of. And I like Dak. He's the definition of a franchise quarterback. He's a guy you could win multiple divisions, multiple playoff games with, and he can be your quarterback for 10, 12 years. Are you winning because of him? Is he going to make you a contender or keep you as a contender for 15 years? No. But you can win with him with proper drafting, proper coaching, etc. Do I think if Sean Payton was the head coach this year of the Cowboys, do you think I would be propping them up to potentially be an NFC contender? Absolutely. I think coaching matters in the NFL.
Well, maybe you're going to get that wish next year.
Probably going to happen.
Because he's knocking on that door.
Probably going to happen. Terry, overall, I am okay with the Kyler Murray contract. I have no issue with it at all. Well, let me not say I have no issue with that at all. I have no issue with them paying him. Do I like the money? Do I like everything about it? Do I have concerns about Kyler? I do. But that doesn't negate the fact that he is the franchise's most important player. And you typically don't let them walk away. Would you have let Matthew Stafford walk away scot-free 5 years ago?
No. Because my thinking of Matthew Stafford was his biggest flaw was he played for the Lions. And I said that repeatedly.
Well,
that was
let's say we look past it, right?
Okay.
Let's say you're not being objective enough. Let's say, Terry, that Matthew Stafford is nothing but a loser. And he can't win the big games. And he has a losing record against winning teams. And all the stuff, people want to throw on him. 5 years ago, you don't re-sign him with all that information. But they did. And granted, it didn't work out for the Lions because they were still the Lions at the time. That didn't change. But the point is, you think you're winning an average of 7 games a year with Matthew Stafford? Or after Matthew Stafford? Without him? In those 4 or 5 years?
No, you're winning fewer games.
You are winning 3 to 4 games every single year if you don't re-sign him, and you don't get any better. And then you have Quinn and all these losers making the decisions that would have effed your franchise either way. So you pay Matthew Stafford, you pay Kyler Murray, and the bill will come due eventually. And we're gonna say, hey, Kyler, you need to win football games now. But you look at Dak. You look at Dak, 13-3 his first year, then 9-7, then 10-6, then 8-8, then 6-10, and then 12-5 last season, and they lose in the wild card to the San Francisco 49ers at home. A 12-5 football team with Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper,
and by the way,
Michael
you're
Gallup.
the only home wild card team that lost.
Of course, it's the Cowboys. It's Mike McCarthy. I'm not surprised,
He's
but
a
I'm just saying.
problem, too.
I'm just saying.
Not just Dak.
Yeah, look, again, you have to pay your quarterbacks in the NFL. And I am vehemently against the individuals that say, just draft a quarterback, start him for 5 years, let him go, don't pay him, and do it again. You don't do that in the NFL. It's not how the NFL works. You get a quarterback, you hold on to him for dear life. In Detroit, again, you just got smacked in the face. The guy that was your quarterback for 12 years just walked away, went to a competent situation, and won a Super Bowl.
But you got something out of it.
I know, but the point
if you
is,
had just let him go earlier, you get nothing for him.
yes, well, that's a perfect point, actually, to not moving off of quarterbacks. But beyond that, like, we in Detroit should know. You know what a quarterback looks like. Kyler Murray's a damn good quarterback. You pay him. You don't let guys like that walk out the building. That's not how the NFL works. Unless you're the Washington Commanders and you let every young up-and-coming coach walk out of your building, along with Kirk Cousins. Anyways, we got to go to break. When we get back, Terry, you have some questions for me.
I do.
I'm nervous.
You shouldn't be. You should have a little glow in your cheeks.
Oh, I'm excited now. You're turning me on a little bit. We got to go to break. When we get back, Terry's got some questions for me. But before he does, Fish, could you tell everybody at home about our good friends over at Cintron?
Cintron, what an energy drink this is. And it's the official sponsor of the Detroit Red Wings. Cintron has 3 combinations. They have delicious flavor, limited into a 6-pack sampler box. Try Cintron's great tasting cranberry classic or sugar-free all in 1 pack. How do you not? What a beauty. Pre-order your Cintron 6-pack sampler pack today, sampler box today at cintronworld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron. Let's go Red Wings! Cintron World. Visit them today.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
All right, you think you got what it takes to beat Braylon Edwards in a three-point contest? I think you do. I don't think Braylon can shoot a lick of his life, and we're giving away $1,000 for anybody who could beat Braylon Edwards in a three-point contest down at the Monroe Street Midway today. Live from 2 to 4, the live broadcast. The bottom line will be live from 2 to 4 as normal, and they will be selecting 5 lucky contestants, of which, if you beat Braylon Edwards, which I think you all can do, you will win $1,000. And I'm not going to lie. If none of you are able to win this $1,000, I am going to be very disappointed, and I will be calling you out on Monday. So do me a favor, win the money, visit the Monroe Street Midway today, live from 2 to 5:30. We're going to be down there for the entire afternoon having a good time. There's going to be food, there's going to be drinks, and there's going to be a three-point contest. Make sure you get down there and have a good time and try to win $1,000.
I think everybody from Woodward Sports is going to be down there, but what I was explaining to them is you're not eligible because you work here.
But they just want to see if they can beat Braylon Edwards.
That's fine.
But they want the $1,000 too, but they can't get the $1,000.
No, this is for our beautiful audience and supporters only, not for anybody who works here. So, Jeff, shut the hell up. I know you're listening. What's up, Terry? What do you got?
Jeff. All right, I got something for you, bro.
What do you got?
NFL, Detroit Lions. I am into the little preseason magazines, and I've been reading. The Detroit Lions do not have a top 15 running back. The Detroit Lions do not have a top 15 wide receiver. The Detroit Lions do not have a top 15 coach. With that said, if I come up to you and say, hey, Adam, you remember I mentioned the Lions don't have a top 15 running back, wide receiver, or coach? Now they do. Which one will it be? This is November. Remember everything, tell me in November. You'll leave it to I'll tell you in November. Everything is in November. So
top 15 running back?
Running back, wide receiver,
or coach.
And they got one.
I would say because of the abundance of talent at wide receiver that it won't be Amon-Ra St. Brown in the top 15. I would say because of the abundance of coaching in the top 12 area-ish in the NFL, it won't be Dan Campbell as a top 15 coach. I'm going to go DeAndre Swift easily, and I think easily a top 15 back. And I'm surprised he's not in the top 15. What magazine is this?
It was multiple. Athlon and the other one.
I'm going to burn down their printing center. How is DeAndre Swift not in the top 15?
Because he's injured all the time.
Ooh, wow. I mean, he had 1,000 yards from scrimmage in 10 games last season.
But other guys had more than that.
Well, to answer your question, I think it's easily for me, DeAndre Swift would be a top 15 back by November. Easily. I think he'd be more close to top 5 than he would be top 15.
Okay, do you think he'll be better than like Joe Mixon?
I think you have Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler. Those are his 4 that are guaranteed to be there. Christian McCaffrey, again, he has the same concerns as Swift. Are you going to be healthy? Those are all guys that I think will be closer to top 5 than they will be to top 15. I think Swift easily breaks that barrier.
I've been a little surprised that Christian McCaffrey is 2. Not that he's not capable, but because he hasn't been healthy the last couple of years. But he's still up there. And I think Swift he hasn't done enough to get that national attention. And so, therefore, I've seen him listed like 17, 18, 19.
Yeah, look, I mean, last year, 600 yards on the ground, 4 yards a carry, 452 yards in the air, a total of 7 touchdowns. That was only in, I believe, 13 games played. 13 games. So, It's tough. It's tough for me with DeAndre. It really is. There's so much talent there. And I think top 15 is easy, and that's why I'd make it. He would have more of a case to be a top 5 back by November, if healthy, than he would, I believe, top 15. I think it's so clear to me. It really is. So I think I answered your question pretty straightforward.
And are you still scared?
In terms of,
you said you were scared before I asked the question, or was it fun?
Oh no, I'm good now. I'm good.
Okay.
No. I thought you were going to ask me something else. So
No,
I got a
that
little
was
nervous.
it.
Somebody's leaking into my private life.
No, that's you and Maddie. That little thing you guys are doing. I'm not getting involved in all that.
All right, what else
That's
you got?
between y'all's. Okay.
All right.
Absolutely. I had another one. Now, because of your youth, I'm going to assume you had never been to Tiger Stadium.
No.
Okay. When I was your age, and they were building Comerica Park and they opened it up, people in this community who've been to both stadiums bitched about Comerica Park. The seats are too far away from the field. It was more intimate at Tiger Stadium, yada, 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 yada. So they would never give Comerica Park any love because of their love for Tiger Stadium. I happen to think what they forget is when you're at Tiger Stadium, 1/3 of the seats were obstructed or partially obstructed because of the poles. So you couldn't even see what was going on. I remember if you sat in certain places and there was a long fly ball to center field, you never saw the ball. It would just go up, disappear, and then at some point would appear. So with that said, since you don't have the Tiger Stadium tanked in your life, I want to ask you, what do you think of Comerica Park as a baseball stadium?
I think it's clean. I do. I think it's a good ballpark. I personally like Comerica. Maybe my standards aren't as high as some older people who have been to Tiger Stadium.
But you have to understand, the older people just like old stuff. It doesn't matter if it sucks or if it's good.
No, I think
older is
Comerica
always better to them.
I think Comerica is a much better designed stadium. I do hate center field. That is a whole thing, but we've been complaining about that forever. But I think what they have going on in right field, I think you have a lot of good aspects of that ballpark. I actually think it's a really underrated ballpark. I like Comerica Park a lot. Structurally, it's designed really well. Inside, obviously, you have all your beverage and food options, but that's irrelevant. You have the court, you have the walkways. I think it's a good ballpark. I really do.
Now, you have no children. Are you offended or put off by the Ferris wheel and the merry-go-round and stuff like that, or do you think that's fine?
No, I think that's... If I was running the club, I would do festivities like that because I want to attract parents to bring their kids to the stadium to watch the games. And, let's just call it what it is. My future 3-year-old son and 4-year-old daughter, who knows, they are not going to sit through 9 innings of baseball. They're going to want to jump and do something, have a lot of energy as kids. So you take them down to the scooters, the little events, the carnival, whatever they have going on at the time. Then you take them back out, you watch the Tigers lose, and you go home.
Right. And I, as a parent, did take my kids to Comerica Park, and there was no way. We didn't get through 5 innings. They wanted to do something. They wanted to jump up. And I just remember my daughter, Celine, her favorite thing about Comerica Park was the Ferris wheel. She liked going up there and looking out and, looping around. And one thing I got to do is when I was writing, I did a tour of the minor league parks, everyone in Michigan. Went to Traverse City, Battle Creek, Lansing, outside of Grand Rapids. In every stadium, there's something where you can interact with your kids.
I was old enough to remember the Silver Dome, and then obviously Ford Field when it was built. But I had an emotional attachment to the Silver Dome, and I think so did my dad. But again, Ford Field miles ahead of the Silver Dome. It's a modern stadium. There's different. There's a lot of benefits to it. It's tough for me to prefer an older ballpark over a newer one.
The greatest thing about the Silverdome?
What's that?
The fights. I mean, they used to nub, boy. And my favorite thing is watching two drunk guys swing on each other and then fall. And then some way, somehow, I don't know how this happened, they would fall down the stairs in slow motion. I thought that was the most hilarious thing. In fact, it was so funny, sometimes we didn't even watch the game because of the fights at the Silverdome. But you don't have the fights at Ford Field because someone explained to me that the Silverdome aisles were too long. And when you have long aisles, it perpetrates fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of stadium fights. I think it's super classy.
Of course you'd say that. There was one at the Home Run Derby. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I don't... Look, as a non-raging adult, okay, I have never been to a stadium or a game or an atmosphere in my life, and I've been to some really close competitive games where I felt the need that there was an opponent or even my own fan base's fan where I was like, you know what, we're going to do this right now. I am so upset that I am going to get arrested today, and I'm going to throw some punches that probably aren't even going to land at you, and then I'm going to take a sucker punch, and it's not going to end well for any of us. Like, I never understood the mentality of stadium fighting, ever. How do I pay my money to go to a game I want to watch, drink beer, eat some food, and enjoy? And I'm going to go there, and because some heckler or some dude I don't like or some dude that accidentally bumped into me. I never understood stadium fighting, ever.
I did a story on the fights at the Silverdome. You know how most of them were started? Booze and paper airplanes.
Oh, that is true. I am also not a raging alcoholic, so I don't know what it's like to be drunk in public. That's probably why I don't understand, actually. Okay. I take back everything I said, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe fights make a lot more sense than I thought they did. Any other questions, Terry?
No, that was it.
All right, I love it. Well, I got a question for you then.
Okay, then.
I got a question for you. The Palace or the LCA?
As far as the location, or just
forget location, pure atmosphere, and then we'll go into seating, beverages, food stands, being accessible.
The overall, I would take the Palace. The great thing about the LCA is the giant video scoreboard. So no matter where you are in that building, you're going to be able to see what's happening on the court or the ice. The thing that disappoints me that I was told that you had to correct in every new stadium was the corridors. They had to be wide. The corridors at LCA, to me, are still not wide enough. I thought they were wide enough at the Palace. The Palace, every seat was a good seat unless you were at the very, very top. And the LCA is somewhat confusing because I'm still trying to figure out the portal system. Now you go to portal 38, portal 39, that kind of stuff. So,
well, I will say the Palace was, I think, exceptional. But the LCA, again, we're talking modern stadium, modern technology, convenience. It's just so much as an experience as a viewer. It's much better.
Yeah.
But
there's flaws in older stadiums that the LCA did not correct, and I thought they should have done that.
Well, I'll tell you guys what, top of the hour coming up. We got to go to break. When we get back, I'll reveal my top 10 head coaches heading into the NFL season. But before I do, Fish, the best defense on and off the field.
You know who it is. It's Guardian Alarm, everybody. Summertime is here, and that means spending more time out in the beautiful, lovely land called Earth. We'll be outside today for 2 events today. Mm-hmm. Let Guardian Alarm help you with peace of mind while you're outside enjoying the sunshine and the fun. Put some sunscreen on. Throw on some hats and some sunglasses. Call 1-800-STAY OUT today, and you can rest easy. Know you have 24/7 protection. 1-800-STAY OUT. HWZ was going to come for you in basketball. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you today.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Lovely Big Frog and Novi. Hey, you can get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. Tammy Chan, our chat member, got a free shirt yesterday from Big Frog and Novi.
She got to model it for us.
She did. That's right. You can get a free Woodward Sport t-shirt all month long at the Big Frog and Novi. Just stop in and tell them Woodward Sports sent you, and they will print you a t-shirt on the spot with their lovely printing presses they have in there. So go to Big Frog Novi today and get yourself a free t-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi today.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Top of the hour, brought to you by Bedrock Detroit, of course. We'll be down at the Monroe Street Midway from 2 to 5:36, maybe even 7. We're just going to hang out, have a good time after
You going to shoot some three-pointers?
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay at basketball. It wasn't my number one sport growing up. I was baseball, football, hockey, hell, all that before basketball. Really, my peak days of basketball ended, I think, in middle school, 8th grade. It was the last time I took basketball seriously. But, Terry, 10 best coaches in the NFL. Obviously, Dan Campbell was ranked 30th, right? No,
of course.
Not a Dan Campbell conversation.
I thought he was ranked 28th.
But I want to give you my list.
All right.
Well, according to CBS, he was 30. But I do want to share my list with you. I went ahead and put a nice presentation for you. The top 10 coaches, in my opinion, heading into the 2022 NFL season. Number 1, we're going to start with the defending Super Bowl champion head coach, and that is Sean McVay. 5 seasons as the Los Angeles Rams head coach. Sean McVay, 5 winning seasons, 2 NFC Championship appearances, 2 Super Bowl appearances, nothing but a stud, and now a Super Bowl champion. Andy Reid. So I just want to be fully transparent with you, Terry. I really wanted to put Andy Reid at number 1. I didn't, though. Not from really for recency bias. I think Sean's spectacular. I just do. But I wouldn't be mad at anybody who said, Adam, you need to put Andy Reid at number 1. So Andy Reid at number 2. I mean, 3 straight AFC Championship appearances, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl title. Again, just as accomplished in the last 5 years as Sean McVay. So you're really talking about 2 of the great coaches in the NFL right now. Number 3, a guy I don't believe gets enough credit for the work he does for the coach. These are coaching, right? The top 10 coaches. It's not just about what have you done for me lately, what results have you had, what have you accomplished in your career. It's who is at the top of the game right now in terms of coaching. I think John Harbaugh is just as good as any coach in the NFL right now. He is phenomenal. I don't think he gets enough praise and love outside of Baltimore for the work he does. He's a top 3 coach in my opinion. And if I was starting a team today and I had to start with a head coach, he would be on that short list of guys I would want right now. And there may be only 2 coaches on that list that I would take over him. Number 4, Mike Tomlin, out of respect. Mike Tomlin, 15 straight years, not a single losing season. How they even managed not to have a losing season last year is beyond me. Hell of a job. Now they draft Kenny Pickett. They have Mitchell Trubisky. The Steelers are going to be competitive again this year. They just are. They just know how to figure out and stay involved in football games. He's a top 4 coach. Again, another guy that I think is a very good coach. Number 5, an up-and-comer. Right? A guy with now multiple division titles, playoff wins. a heartbreaker against the Chiefs last season in the playoffs, Sean McDermott. Hell of a head coach. Again, on the rise. He's dethroned Bill in the AFC East. This will probably be his division along with Josh Allen's for the next 7 to 10 years. So good luck trying to beat that combination. Number 6 is a guy I would have put at 5. But I do have to be fair with Kyle Shanahan. For as great as he has been in time, he is a top 6 coach. His offense is ridiculous. He finds ways to make it happen, but we've also seen the bad side of Kyle, right? And granted, not many coaches are successful without a starting quarterback, Terry, but it's been bad. It's been ugly, and the Niners have never been to back-to-back playoff appearances. They've never made back-to-back playoff appearances under Kyle Shanahan, Terry. That, to me, is terrifying. So this year, you would imagine they won't be in the playoffs. I hope they are. I believe he's good enough to get them there. Again, number 7, Mike Vrabel, a guy that locked up the number 1 seed last year with the Tennessee Titans team that did not have Derrick Henry for a majority of the year, not even Julio Jones. It was just Ryan Tannehill, a very, very good defense led by Mike Vrabel, of course, and his coaching staff.
Can I say something about Mike Vrabel?
Oh, absolutely.
The Lions were deciding between Mike Vrabel and Fat Man.
Yep.
Matt Patricia. And I was pushing for Vrabel over Belichick for one reason. I believe when you hire an NFL head coach, you're better off with a guy that's been in 2 or 3 systems. Vrabel had been with the Patriots and elsewhere, so he could see the good and the bad. And he could see what Belichick was doing, but he could also see what another head coach did. And I think that made him a better candidate. And usually, if you're under that Belichick tree, you don't
fail.
succeed.
Well, you know who was a big fan of Mike Vrabel when he got hired to Tennessee?
Who?
And he wasn't hired by the Lions? My dad.
Okay.
My dad had pulled me aside after the hiring and was just frustrated. And he's like, "Son, this is what I deal with. This is when you're out and about playing your fantasy football on Sundays. This is what I deal with." So my dad actually a big Mike Vrabel fan. Number 8, Bill Belichick. Oh, it's Bill. 6 Super Bowls. They made the playoffs last year with Mac Jones. He just lost arguably the best offensive coordinator in football. One of the most brilliant minds in offense, at least in the NFL, in Josh McDaniels. Matt Patricia is his assistant. Good luck. Out of respect for Bill Belichick, he's in the top 10. But I'm telling you, Terry, I was considering him not even having him in the top 10.
That would have been controversial.
Yeah, well, it's not controversial to me. It just makes sense. Matt LaFleur, number 9. I was going to put him over Bill, but you know what, Matt? You've left a sour taste in my mouth over the last 2 years. 13 wins for 3 straight years, 2 NFC championship appearances. You lose at home. And I know your quarterback played like dog crap, but you lose at home to the Niners. That's a tough one for me to accept. Zach Taylor, Super Bowl losing head coach, but Super Bowl coach nonetheless. In his 3rd year, I believe, yes, in the NFL. They will only get better, and they will only get better because he is a young, offensive-minded head coach. And I want to point out something. There are only 3 coaches in the top 10 right now that are defensive-minded head coaches. Vrabel, Belichick, McDermott. Reed, McVay, Shanahan, LaFleur, Taylor. Even Harbaugh is modern. He understands the game. It's progressed for him. Mike Tomlin will get there. I think they've been too much in the Ben Roethlisberger era. We will see how they develop. So maybe I'll leave Tomlin out of this for now. But this is a young man's game. McVay, Taylor, LaFleur, Shanahan, even Vrabel is relatively young. McDermott's relatively young. It's a young man's game, Terry. Those are my top 10 coaches in the NFL right now. Your thoughts?
All right, beautiful. I can actually see Zach Taylor as being higher. I know he doesn't have the resume of others, but you had a Cincinnati Bengals team that fired his previous coach because he couldn't win a playoff game. And then this guy comes in 3 years, he gets him to the Super Bowl. So he may not have the resume, but there might be something to this man that's special that was able to overcome the foibles of the Cincinnati Bengals. You have to understand, the other thing is Cincinnati Bengals are not your typical team. They were always underachieving, had problems with the front office, had problems with the coaching. And so this guy comes in with a young quarterback and goes to the Super Bowl. I could see him higher. Bill Belichick, I think I don't want to say the jury is out on him because he's accomplished so much, but now we get another year of him without Tom Brady.
You know what I'm happy to hear from you? You haven't brought up a certain individual's name who has had, let's be honest, recent success, a division winner not too long ago, Super Bowl champion, multiple Super Bowl appearances, Pete Carroll. And again, these are coaches. I'm not going just based on the record of their teams. Mike Tomlin did not have a better record than some of those guys on that list. And I believe he's a better coach. Same with Harbaugh. But I am starting, again, Bill is here, Pete Carroll all the way to the floor to me. I think he's fallen off completely. I don't think Bill has fallen off yet. But I think this is the year we're going to remember as the year Bill Belichick fell off. That doesn't mean he's not one of, if not the greatest head coach of all time. That doesn't take away from his 6 Super Bowls. That doesn't take away from everything he's accomplished in the NFL. But time moves on. You can't be at the top forever. And Bill Belichick, right now, in my opinion, not at the top of his game.
Yeah, it's sort of like Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald, the greatest defensive player that we've seen. At some point, he's not going to be that. He's going to be playing. He's going to be a little bit old. He'll be 37 years old out there, just kind of another guy. That's probably what's happened with Bill Belichick. Now, Pete Carroll, 5 years ago, we would have been fighting. But I've seen slippage in his games. He's old. He's 73, 74, 72, somewhere around in there. So you see slippage in his game, and you see slippage in Seattle too. So, yeah, I wouldn't bring up Pete Carroll as top 10 maybe 5 years ago. I'd be saying, Adam, dude, you forgot somebody. You're like, who, T? I said, Pete Carroll. I don't know if that would have pissed you off, but
probably
5 years ago, I still would have put him in the top 10. But now,
top 10, but yeah.
Now I'm not. Nah, no thanks.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, but you know what? Zach Taylor, I think, out of, again, recent success, a young future. He's a promising coach. I'm not going to put Pete Carroll there. I'm not going to put Doug Peterson over him. I'm not going to put, let's say, some of the newcomers, right? Kevin I'm not going to put anybody like that over him. This is a guy that just went to the Super Bowl. I think that garners some respect. And I think he's a top 10 coach right now in the NFL.
Do you know where you would put Sean Payton? If
Zach Taylor would get bumped out of the list.
Yeah, if he was still coaching.
Yeah, Sean Payton would be, for me, I might have to drop Kyle Shanahan to 7 and put Carroll at 5 and bump, who did I have at 5 on my list? Could you put that back up one more time? I apologize. I'm forgetting.
You had McDermott.
I'd have to probably bump McDermott and put Payton at 5. Hell, I might even put him at 4 over Tomlin.
Okay.
So, yeah, Payton's going to be highly regarded for me if he's on that list.
All right. Just curious.
All right. I love it. Well, I appreciate it, Terry. What'd you think?
Right.
Give me a grade.
It's opinion, and all these guys would make everybody on this list, if I was starting a team, I would at least interview them.
Absolutely.
So I have no problem with your list. I'm going to give you I'm not going to give you the A++++ like you like, but I give you A-. I'm good with this.
Oh, God. Guys.
What?
I just got a text message from my mom. Can you zoom in the camera?
Did Mom give you an F?
Oh, she's pissed.
Why? You haven't even talked about it.
You ready for this? Just start zooming in from now. I'll turn my phone. She texted me, what is that? That's from yesterday. That's my mom.
Did you
not tell your mom yesterday?
Texted me about my joint from yesterday.
Yeah. Was she mad at you because you were smoking, or was she mad at you because you got a cigar from the gas station?
I'm telling you right now, don't ask.
Why don't you just call her?
You know what?
Yeah, tell Mom it was stinky and cheap.
Here we go.
Oh, here she is.
Hey. You're on air. Watch what you're saying to me. Chill.
fuck is that?
Mom, don't swear.
Your mom swears too? Oh my god.
What do you think I get it from, Terry?
Just have her swear. Just have her swear.
Listen, Mom, stop swearing.
Have her
Jesus
swear.
Christ.
He's gonna have to cut it out anyway.
I cannot believe what I'm seeing.
Listen, Mom, just don't ask questions. Just you saw the picture, move on, all right?
Is that how it goes?
That's how it goes, all right? I'm an adult, Mom. I'm an adult now.
Hey,
all right?
Mom, here's my problem with that cigar. It was cheap and it smelled.
Hey, kick your ass when I
All right, Mom. I'll talk to you later. I gotta go.
How's your day going?
I'm on a show, Mom.
If he's on the show, his day's going
It's
well.
all good. Yalla, I love you. Talk soon.
I love you. We'll talk to you.
Yalla. All right.
What's your mom's favorite swear word?
Fuck. We gotta go to break.
Apple
Now you
doesn't
guys know
fall
where I
far
get it
from the
from.
tree.
We gotta go to break. When we get back, oh God, we've got a Brett Favre story actually, and a Detroit
do.
Lions story from Terry Foster himself. So we'll get to that. But before we do, Maddie Ciabatta's over at Big Boy.
Yes, Ciabatta's summer salads, hand-dipped shakes, all at Big Boy. Try out a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar, all on their grilled ciabatta bread. They've also got some nice salads, and don't forget to cool off with a nice hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summers just got better at Big Boy.
It's Feldman's Carmageddon. We're putting an end to high prices during our 4-day super sale. Only 3 days left to shop thousands of used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Hurry in. Only 3 days left.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Also featured on The Roar on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2. Good morning.
Good morning. Look who decided to wake up.
I know. I'm sorry. I got off work at 4. I rollerbladed home, got home at 4:30.
I know.
Middle of the day.
Why are you rollerblading at 4 in the morning? You could have been snatched.
Well, that's how I got there, so I had to then get home.
I think you should drive a car to work.
Well, you tell that to gas prices, Terry.
But if you are snatched, kidnapped,
You think I can't handle myself? My phone was dead, too.
You can't handle yourself.
and a dead phone.
I can't handle myself.
It's middle of the day. It's gonna snatch you up in the middle of the day.
I thought you
Daylight.
said it was 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, that's middle of the day for me. I'm
It's
up.
dangerous.
It's like basically almost light outside at that point.
Yeah.
At
Oh,
4:30
God.
in the morning, it's dark.
I know.
All right, Terry.
I don't want you to get snatched. That's
It's
why
a
I'm concerned about you.
Well, every Friday, Saturday, I do the same thing. So
It's a Friday here on
She
the
has a
Morning
friend
Woodward
that's
Show.
up, so.
And it can't be a legitimate Friday without story time with Terry. So, Terry, the floor is yours.
Yes.
What do you got
Thank you
for
very
us?
much. I'm going to tell you my Brett Favre Super Bowl story. Well, actually, I gave away the name. But anyway, a friend of mine was in the media. You may know this name, Van Earl Wright. He said, "Hey, T, we're going to have some beers Wednesday night, and I'm inviting a buddy of mine. Why don't you come along?" So I'm like, okay, cool. So we show up at this bar in the Gaslight District in San Diego. I was covering this Super Bowl. That was between Green Bay and the Denver Broncos. That was the John Elway helicopter game. So anyway, we're having a few beers, and then his buddy shows up, and it's Brett Favre. So real nice guy, sat down, and Wednesday was a significant day because it was the last day during Super Bowl week, it's the last day the players can go out. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they're supposedly in. Although I've heard about Super Bowl players getting in trouble on Saturday night. You're not supposed to be out on Saturday night. So anyway, dude was real nice, and I had to ask him the question. I said, dude, when the Green Bay Packers play the Detroit Lions, y'all must be celebrating and having a party and thinking, hey, we're going to win this game. And he said, actually, that's not the truth. I said, dude, I'm not going to write about it or talk about it except for 20 or 25 years down the road on the Woodward Sports Network. Could have said that. But he said that he thought the Detroit Lions had good athletes. He was always concerned about them. And he said he didn't play particularly well in Detroit / Pontiac at the time. So they said the Green Bay, even though they kicked the Lions' ass most years, had a respect for them because of their quote-unquote athletes. Now, he did say they probably didn't have the best leadership. They probably weren't put in the best positions to win, but you had to be concerned with the players. But they thought that the reason they were able to beat the Lions is because their leadership wasn't very good and hasn't been very good. And that's been the key with the demise of the Detroit Lions. That was just his opinion. So we ended up talking, having a good time. Now, the following year, the Lions played Green Bay, obviously in Green Bay, which they do every year. And so I went to say hi to him, but the PR guy came up and said, hey, Brett's not talking today. He's only talking at the podium. I said, well, I'm just saying yo to him. I'm not interviewing him. So then Brett Favre remembered our previous engagement during the Super Bowl. He said, you can ask me a couple questions. That's okay. So I did. PR guy was pissed, but if you run the franchise, you can do whatever you want. So I asked him a couple questions, got him for my story, wasn't on the podium. So that ended up being pretty cool there.
You know, one of the things that strike me about the Packers is, you go from Favre to Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've essentially controlled the division or have had the best quarterback in the division any given year for almost 3 decades.
Mm-hmm.
Have we seen that before?
Passing along the torch, sort of in San Francisco.
But not as long?
Yeah, not as long, but, I mean, you had 2 Hall of Famers when you went from Joe Montana to Steve Young.
Yep.
But, it shows the importance of the quarterback position. The Lions sort of passed along from Barry Sanders, and even though there was a gap, to Calvin Johnson. You probably had, I'm going to say, even if we're going to argue about is Barry Sanders the greatest running back of all time, he was the greatest runner of all time. Nobody ran like Barry Sanders. So I thought he was at least top 3 running back, but I will say this with confidence. Barry Sanders ran the football better than anybody in the National Football League. So you go from him, you got a gap, you go to Calvin Johnson, and you win 1 playoff game between those 2. Now, what are they bitching about in Green Bay? They've had these 2 quarterbacks, and they've only been to 2 Super Bowls. Something that here in Detroit.
2 or 3?
I think it's 2.
Favre went to 2, correct, or no?
Maybe he did.
I could have sworn it was 2 Super Bowls, 1 and 1 with Favre.
All right, maybe it's 3. All right, 3. The bitching in Green Bay, they've only been to 3 Super Bowls between these 2, which is legit. But when you talk about what you've seen here in Detroit, 1 playoff win in the last 60 years, that pales in comparison.
It was 2 Super Bowls. They went to back-to-back Super Bowls in 97, 98. They won in 97 against the Patriots, and they lost to John Elway, Terrell Davis, and the Denver Broncos.
That's the game. That was the game I was at. You're correct.
Yes,
I remember them.
And then they've only been to 1 with Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they've had one of, if not the, we always laugh at Brady. Brady played in the AFC East. He had no competition for 15 years. The hell has Aaron Rodgers had to deal with? The Lions, the Bears, and the Vikings, who have been respectable, to be fair.
And you know what? The second best team has been respectable. You would think in the division, the second best team it's still one of those teams where, oh my God, you gotta
watch out for.
Got to watch out for.
They had a few years. They even had Brett Favre at one moment. Remember? I mean, that team wins the Super Bowl. By the way, the Vikings. If he doesn't throw that interception, it's irrelevant. What if shoulda, coulda, woulda, whatever. I don't care. But
gunslinger.
That team, Terry, Jared Allen, the interior linemen they had, the defense they had in general, even the offense moved. Young Adrian Peterson. That was a great team. That was one of the great Minnesota teams. That was unfortunate. Poor Brett just couldn't keep it in his pants for one more play.
Now, you have to understand that I, as a child, was traumatized by the Minnesota Vikings because...
Oh, they were killers in the 70s, weren't they?
They were killers in the 70s, but I can't remember if it was 13 games or 17 games. They beat the Lions either 13 or 17 games in a row. So when you talk about the NFL, that's going a decade without beating a team. And it was always something stupid, too. It'd be 17-13, 20-17. You know, it was games that the Lions would shoot themselves in the foot. It seemed like every game. And then on occasion, because Minnesota wasn't a great offensive team, they would just spank the Lions 17-0 or 17-3. But for the most part, they traumatized the Lions and just beat them basically every game for a whole decade. That was my childhood.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny. We associate Brett Favre for what he is. I mean, let's just be honest. He's a gunslinger.
Mm-hmm.
He's also he throws a lot of interceptions. That doesn't not make him a great player or a Hall of Fame quarterback. He is. He's a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback, actually. But we forget that Minnesota season. If I remember correctly, he was upwards of 32. I think 33 touchdowns that year and only 7 interceptions. I remember very vividly, actually. It was 33 touchdowns, like 4,200 yards, and 7 interceptions. At 39 years old, 12-4, losing the conference championship game. I mean, that was arguably one of, if not his best statistical season.
And it was something you didn't expect.
No,
at the time.
Again, and maybe he was a bit ahead of his time. I think he was actually very Cavalier-like, considering he was almost similar to Marino in terms of how often he would throw the football. You just didn't see it, even back in the late 90s.
But he seemed more blue collar.
Yes.
Than Marino. Marino was more polished.
Yes. I think one of the things I also noticed, Terry, that I thought was interesting is, now we get all upset about interceptions. Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw interceptions, Adam. Well, the guys that were top 3 in the league in interceptions last year were in the Super Bowl, and no, it wasn't because of their defense. It's because they're taking chances, and more often than not, they're hitting on those chances. Yes, they throw frustrating interceptions. Yes, you turn the ball over. It's a faster game. You get more possessions in today's NFL, right?
But is that an anomaly? For the most part, football is about running the ball and not turning the ball over. That's what it has been most years. And yes, I acknowledge last year was an aberration. Let's see if that trend continues. Well,
considering where the NFL is going?
When we speak again in November, let's bring up that stat.
Let's look at the top 6 teams in the NFL this upcoming season, and let's average out the amount of interceptions they're projected to have. And if it's somewhere between 11 and 15, I don't want to hear people complaining about interceptions anymore. I just don't.
Well, we can't talk about it
until November. We're going to come back with the ideal landing spot for a quarterback who I find in a very difficult situation. But, Terry, I think I have a good spot for him. And I don't think people are going to like it.
I know what you're talking about.
People aren't going to like it. Jimmy Garoppolo coming up in just a bit. But before we go, I got to tell you where to bet this season. We mentioned the Pistons over-under at 27.5. Myself and Terry both agree. How do you not take the over on it? But where to make that bet is on MyBookie. Bet from anywhere, anytime using MyBookie. Sign up today using promo code Woodward, and they'll match your first deposit. As always, you can bet from any time. You can bet from anywhere, anytime using MyBookie. No geolocation restriction. Having said that, if you do struggle with gambling, call 1-800-270-7117.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Hey, we're rolling into the weekend. We're excited. Listen, we finally got some baseball to bet on after a few days off, and we're drafting some best ball, fantasy football. Make sure you guys are checking us out at 4:30. You also got to make sure you check out oddstrader.com. Hey, it's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, the best place to check all the odds and sports books right in the palm of your hand. But hey, we know what you guys want. We guys want winners. We want nothing but winners. So listen, I got one here for you today. I'm rolling with the Seattle Mariners today to beat the Astros. Astros played a double header yesterday, and then they got to travel all the way across to Seattle. I think they're going to be a little tired. So let's roll with the Mariners tonight. Oddstrader.com, Woodward Bets. Check it out.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
If you are looking for a new school to enroll your child in, look no further than the Academy of Warren. They have a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Their K-8 features small classroom sizes, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, and much, much more. Enroll today at academyofwarren.net.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. The ideal landing spot for one Jimmy Garoppolo. Terry? The Browns would have made most sense. They just picked up Josh Rosen. The Panthers would have made the most sense. They traded for Baker. Garoppolo is now free to go and find a trade. I do believe you're going to be able to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo for a 5th or 6th round pick. You're not going to have to give up much for him. There are two teams that come to mind. The first, the New York Giants, although I believe they believe in Daniel Jones for at least this season. And the second team, which I find very interesting, is the Raiders. And I'm a big Derek Carr guy. But
you are or are not?
I am.
Okay.
I'm huge. He's a top 10 quarterback for me. But the big but is, when you're a contender, what's the one thing that will derail your season under any circumstance? Your quarterback going down. If I'm the Raiders and I get a 1-year rental, and all I have to give up is a 5th, 6th round pick, I'm picking up the phone and I'm inquiring about Jimmy Garoppolo. And I want to see if he's willing to take a backup role. Probably isn't. But you want to talk about a situation where everybody wins? If he goes there and backs up Derek Carr, becomes a free agent, at the end of the year, we all know this happens every year, 7 to 8 teams are going to need a quarterback. He'll find a nice spot in free agency. Or Derek Carr goes down, he steps in, becomes the hero, and then he becomes a valuable asset. So if I'm Jimmy G, I'm not going to Seattle. I'm not going. Maybe to Houston I would consider. But what do I have in Houston? Brandon Cooks? Be careful about your career here. I think Jimmy G, it's either the Giants or the Raiders as a backup. I think those are the two options.
So I think there's one option, and that's the Giants. Of those two, I'm done with Daniel Jones. I just don't think he fits. I don't think he's good. And I kind of am wondering if the Giants feel the same way. Maybe they're going to hang on to. If you're thinking I can hang on to this guy for one more year, you're thinking, you know what? I can turn that 1 year into 0. So I'm tired of him. If I were the Giants, I would at least kick the tires on Jimmy G. Oakland, I don't know. I might be a fool, but I kind of like Derek Carr. I still think under the right circumstances, you have to understand, his coach was supposed to be John Gruden. Not supposed to be the guy. They gave him the keys to the franchise. They paid him over $100 million, and then he got into the racial whatever it was thing, and then he's gone. So that was your guy. And John Gruden, when he's your coach and you're the quarterback, it's like he makes love to you. I mean, you're my guy. We're in the film room. We're going to do this, blah, blah. And so I think Derek Carr was all into Gruden, and he needed more years around him to be a good success. So I wouldn't give up on Derek Carr if I were Oakland just yet.
Yeah,
Not
no,
for
but
Jimmy
the
G.
Raiders shouldn't give up on. I mean, he's their franchise quarterback. Well, I think it's a
Did I
good.
say they were in Oakland?
Oh, sorry, Vegas.
Yeah, I think
Raiders.
they moved to Vegas.
Yes,
if I do recall.
Jimmy G, although his technically speaking, his best spot is San Francisco, they are all in on Trey Lance. They're all in, and they don't want him there, and they are fully committing to whatever happens with Trey Lance because they did give up 2 or 3 first-round picks for him.
Yes,
they gave up a lot of picks for him. They're moving forward with Trey Lance. That's not changing. So if I'm Jimmy G, I'm looking at what spot makes most sense for my career, where I can extend my career and maybe get another contract, 3-4 year deal, possibly, to go play one more time somewhere else. Because like I said, Terry, every year, there's 6, 7, 8 teams that need not only a quarterback but a head coach. Happens every year. This is the cycle of the NFL. He will have an opportunity. I don't think he should rush to a situation where he may look bad because of Seattle. He may look bad because of Houston. I don't think that's the play. And if Russell Wilson struggled with Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and staying upright with that offensive line, what the hell's Jimmy G supposed to do? And again, Jimmy G's been very fortunate. We're going to talk about this a lot. Not only great defenses. Forget the defense. He's had Josh McDaniels, and he's had Kyle Shanahan. I could argue, 2 of the 3 or 4 greatest offensive coordinators and offensive minds in the NFL in the last 20 years.
But if you're another franchise, knowing that, you can expect him to fall off for your franchise. But the problem is in the NFL, the egos are so strong that even though you're not Kyle Shanahan, I can fix Jimmy G. I can make him a better quarterback. That's that mentality of these coaches. So I could see him going somewhere else, and they'll be excited. See, but eyeball test, I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. But here's the dangerous thing for San Francisco: when he starts a game and finishes it, they win like 65 or 67% of the time.
And he's been a better playoff quarterback than even
Right.
Aaron Rodgers has been recently.
Right. And when he does not start, that percentage goes down by
drops.
30%.
100%.
That's
Terry.
a lot.
100%. We're going to go to break. When we get back, we have a few conversations to wrap up before 9:50, which is mailbag time. But before we go, I got to tell you about the judgment-free zone, and that is Planet Fitness. Get to a local Planet Fitness near you or visit planetfitness.com to get started today for $0 down, $10 a month. Your fitness is essential. Visit Planet Fitness and take your both physical and mental health seriously. We'll see you guys in just a bit.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there.
And that one Lions playoff win in 1991, yeah, Detroit fans were there.
Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
When it comes time to get your project completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. That is why Alta Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction. If you have a big project coming up, Alta Rents has got you covered. Give them a call today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. Alta Equipment, where uptime matters.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, Terry.
Now,
What do you got?
I didn't want to bring this up to you early in the show because I didn't want you to set your panties on fire. But there is another reason why Avila sucks. I'm going to bring up one name, Juan Soto. Now, you think, well, Avila, Juan Soto, they have nothing in common. That is true. But The Athletic did a story. The 15 teams that can make an offer to the Phillies that the Phillies will at least have to listen to. Guess who's not on that list? The Detroit Tigers. In other words, you don't have a farm system with enough players to interest Philly. You don't have enough young players to interest Philly. You don't even have enough younger guys who can play to put together a package. But half the league can. And you've had
8 years.
8 years
of sucking dick.
Of at least.
Imagine sucking dick for 8 years and never making any money off of it. Imagine just getting pounded every day, kicked in the dick, every single day, and all you have to show for it, oh wait, it's nothing. Man, Avila is legendary at this. I mean, this is so impressive. Imagine sucking so much at your job that people have just become numb to it, and you just get to keep it, and you get to do whatever you want.
If he were a good general manager, here's what he would have been able to do. He would have been able to take the assets from Justin Verlander and J.D. Martinez, and even if they hadn't made the parent club, they'd at least be on the farm kicking up their heels, and you say, man, these are the next great things. You could have made a package deal for Juan Soto.
You would have, if you, again, a competent This is the funny thing. Like, you're not in the situation if you have somebody in charge who knows what they're doing. It's that simple. It's either you know how to run a company or you don't. There's no, like, somewhere in the middle. This is such a cutthroat business, and that's how life is in businesses in general. It's either you know how or you don't. Either you suck or you don't. Either you're very talented and very good at what you do or you're not. There's no, oh, well, you know, I made a good decision yesterday, but the last 365 days before that, I didn't do much. But hey, I made a good decision recently.
You kind of sound like him. That's the way he talks.
Oh, that's exactly what he sounds like. So, look, the Nationals are going to shop him, and I think it's going to cost an arm and a leg. And the problem is, you don't even have an arm to give. Spencer Torkelson is not an attractive prospect right now. He is not. Riley Green is. So
that's one.
That is one piece. They are going to ask for everything for Juan Soto. And you're going to tell me that after
I'm throw
8 years.
a fly in the ointment, young man. Even if Avila had gotten, let's say, 5 or 6 assets that the Phillies are like, yeah, we like these guys.
Nationals.
I'm sorry, the Nationals. That the Nationals like. Here's the fly in the ointment. Chris Ilitch is not paying Soto $500 million or $415 million.
Well, that's a whole different aspect of this then.
So then it was still, you would reach a problem where you're not going to be able to make this thing work. And then our media here in Detroit, we say, well, they're not ready for Soto anyway, so it's the right move.
Guys, I'm going to compare Avila and the Detroit Tigers to something I hope you can all relate to. Hear me out. Terry, you ever drive by a McDonald's, a Burger King, a Taco Bell, whatever it may be?
I've done that.
And it's in one of the worst locations possible.
Yes, sir.
It's never busy. So let's say in this example, it's a McDonald's. Sucks, never busy, doesn't do well, signs a 5-10-year lease. It sucks for 10 years. Nobody ever goes to it. And then the lease expires, and some smartass like Avila and Chris Ilitch, oh, well, we can turn it into a Burger King, and boy, it's going to be great. And then that Burger King sucks for the next 5, 10, 15 years. It's the same concept. The people you have in charge who are envisioning your success suck at their jobs. It's not going to change until they are gone. It's that simple.
Now, are you going to go to that Burger King and McDonald's?
No,
and eat? Okay.
God, no. It's out of my way. It's on the opposite side of the road. It's not convenient. It's not clean. They spit in the French fries. The grease and the oil is old. Sometimes they wipe their ass with the buns. Like, this is one of the worst locations. That's what the Detroit Tigers are. They're an awfully ran McDonald's.
So, in other words, the Tigers have gravy buns.
Yes.
Not eating there. No gravy buns for me.
I think that's spot on. I think that's exactly what it is. That's the problem with the Detroit Tigers. They are ran by a guy who couldn't even run a fucking McDonald's location. And you have him running a professional baseball franchise worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Here's the problem this city's going to run into. The proper way, unless you disagree, the proper way to build a baseball team, particularly in Detroit, is through the draft. And then when you feel that you're close, you pay for high-priced free agents. Now, I'm wondering if you're going to ask Avila to go through the process all the way over. Remember, the rebuild is over, and there's still...
You're right. No, the rebuild's over. They're in rebuild 2.0.
And they're winning 41% of their games. Do you say the hell with the draft and just start doing it the incorrect way? Just signing dudes.
Both ways you mentioned I think are incorrect, actually. I think it's a healthy, consistent diet of spending smartly in free agency every single summer. Or, well, technically off-season winter. But every off-season you are spending on needs, on position fills, depth, building a good roster. And as your prospects come up and they perform, you can either swap them out for high-priced, high-targeted players who want out of their situation, and then you turn into a contender, or they develop like an Aaron Judge has developed in New York. You can develop your own, like I forget his name, the kid out in Atlanta. Regardless, you can develop your talent, sign free agents, and have a good ball club. But Terry, I'm sorry, I'm disappointed in you.
What I do now?
You're bringing up all these points. And you're asking the Tigers to do, consistent free agency building, right? You spend consistently, be smart about how you spend, draft, develop your prospects. They can't even make it through a fucking walkthrough, let alone they're going to build a goddamn baseball team. Avila is going to somehow sign free agents for the next 5 years correctly and manage our cap so that way we can position ourselves to target maybe a high-priced free agent. And then we're going to draft all these good players. We're going to swap them out for very good veteran pieces that can help us become contenders. And we're gonna win.
You know what's going to happen?
He thinks like that.
5 years from now, you're going to be in the same situation. Tigers going to be third or probably fourth in the division, not challenged. And we're going to say, damn, another wasted summer. If you go that route, that's what's going to happen. And that's and I'm wondering, even though we live in a city that's way more patient than you, way more patient than they need to be, does this city have the patience to go through another rebuild?
This city has taken it in the ass for 8 years. They're patient.
Can they take it in the ass for 5 more years?
Not from Avila. I'm sure they'll take it in the ass from somebody else, just not Avila.
Okay, but that's what's going to happen. They're going to have to take it in the ass, pardon my French, for the next 5 years from Avila. I don't think he's leaving.
God, I hate my life right now. God damn you, Tigers. God damn you. God damn you. Make my life so goddamn difficult. This is not hard. Well, Adam, Dave Dombrowski, he never had a farm system like Avila did. Yeah, because they were winning the division every year. You fuck. We're going to go to break. When do we get back? Mailbag time.
I didn't want you to get riled up at the beginning of the show.
Thank you, Terry. Way to be considerate.
For the end.
We're going to go to break. When do we get back? Mailbag time. Get your questions in the chat. But before we go, I need to tell you about the Mulligan, which is probably the drink I am going to smash after the show. God bless you, Avila. 8% alcohol. Iced tea lemonade mixed with gypsy vodka. A smooth, great tasting drink, whether you're on the golf course, doing a show like I am right now, or you're in the backyard having a nice old barbecue. Wherever it is, make sure you're having a mulligan with whatever you're doing. Having said that, please drink responsibly, and we'll see you in just a bit.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Ciabattas, summer salads, and dip shakes. All at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar. All on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with our Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a frosty hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Don't look like Adham. Get your tan on, get your glow up at Chili Peppers Tanning. That's where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless sanitized rooms and trained certified tanning professionals. Don't forget, of course, to join the Pepper Club for all the best deals on unlimited tanning. Chili Peppers has the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans.
Chili Peppers Tan!
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Get your questions lined up in the chat for a mailbag. Does Adham drink Miller Lite for the great taste or because it's less filling and won't balloon him up into Avila? Neither. Adham, can we have your mom on as a co-host one day? It would be gold. No, you don't want to hear my mom for 2 hours. Trust me. Trust me, guys.
Poor Flannel Sam, man.
God.
Hey, we already get you for 2 hours. Just put your mom on there.
Mailbag. Adham, shut up, fish. Shut the hell up. Mute your mic. Is it too early to start talking fantasy football? If so, which running back or wide receiver will be lighting it up this year that nobody is suspecting? My underrated running back and wide receiver this year, we'll start with running back. I am going to say that Kenneth Walker is going to be a low-key fantasy option. Rashad Penny is not reliable, not consistent, not ever available on the field. I think you're going to see Kenneth Walker average roughly anywhere from 4.5 to 5 receptions a game. I think he's going to be a PPR back that you're going to enjoy. Probably 11 to 17 carries a game, maybe. I think Kenneth Walker is a guy really under the radar that would be good for you. And, of course, my favorite wide receiver that no one's talking about is Terry McLaurin. I think Terry McLaurin is absolutely going to tear up the league this year. I'm expecting 1,400 yards, anywhere from 9 to 13 touchdowns. I think Terry McLaurin is going to have his breakout season. Let's see. What point in the Lions' schedule, Terry, would you think they're for real, and with what record?
If we are in November and they have a winning record, even if it's 6-5 or 5-4, I would tend to say that they're for real, unless they do something stupid. And by that I mean if the players start talking trash, look, we're 5-4, we told you guys we're going to be good, then they're going to crash and burn. Because the thing that Lions have not been able to handle is success. Whenever you kind of look and say, okay, looking pretty good here, as long as they keep their mouths shut, they can move to the next level. So that's what I want to say. And I would say that they're a little bit for real, but then I need 2 or 3 days of silence.
Okay, Adham.
I have a video.
Oh, I know what this is. This is my. So let me give full context before we play it.
No, just play it. Just play it.
So this
No
is an
context
eagle.
for
This is
others.
an eagle putt from the weekend, and it doesn't go well for me. It doesn't go well at all. Leave it short. Super frustrating.
Yes.
I drove the green. I drove the green on that hole. That was super frustrating hole.
That was a putt?
That was a putt. It went about 3 feet. I hit the ground. Yeah, I know. That was awful. Super
I knew
frustrating.
Westfall would like that one.
Yeah,
I
it's
have
all
a
good.
surprise for you this weekend, actually.
What, you're going to show up on time?
Oh, hello.
God damn it.
Touchdown.
Probably not. I'm late to everything.
Adam,
But
go ahead.
I have a surprise for you this weekend.
Am I even going to see you this weekend?
No. That's,
So how the hell are you
that's-
going to surprise me?
That's the better part.
That's the surprise. You're not going to see her this weekend. She's
Adam,
standing you up.
Okay, guys, what is your go-to hangover food? I don't drink often, and even when I do, I don't typically get hungover, so I don't have a go-to food. What do you guys go to? Taco Bell for you?
I like to get, no, Taco Bell is like the drunk food.
Oh, okay.
The hangover food is like either a famous bowl from KFC or my go-to is a bagel sandwich from Bruegger's Bagels.
Okay. Terry?
If I'm hungover, I need some sliders. And not White Castle sliders. But I'm talking like from Telway or Hunter House. Good quality sliders. That's what I need because I'm a little bit spoiled and I'm stuck up.
Will Terry be attending the Anita Baker concert tonight?
I will not be at the Anita Baker concert. That thing sold out in like 2 seconds. I was surprised by that.
I mean, Adam, does the NBC, Adam, does NBC give Notre Dame the contract, then get in bed with them with NIL so they keep the great team and So, Nick, you know what? That's a good question. I would say, if I'm Notre Dame, right, I think it's very important for my football team to join the Big Ten, but I understand financially why they are doing what they're doing. They're independent. They don't have to split any of the money. They don't have to split any of the bowl money. They don't have to split any of the college football playoff money. That money is all theirs. That's a big deal.
It is, but aren't they talking about $75 million is the reason they don't want to join the Big Ten? And they will make more than that in the Big Ten.
In theory, yes, when the new contract is negotiated, but how much money are they leaving on the table by joining the Big Ten if they do make a college football playoff, right? So correct me if I'm wrong, Michigan received $24 million this year for being in the college football playoff. They had to split that, I believe, with 14 teams in the Big Ten. Or it was split between, I forget the number.
That's probably true, but aren't we talking about the new contract? And we all these numbers you mentioned are going to be
irrelevant,
right? Aren't we talking about a $1 billion split? So if we're talking about a $1 billion split, you know, we could be talking about 100 to 125 million dollars for each team. That's way more than 75 million.
Yeah.
I mean, UCLA was talking about disbanding many of their Olympic sports, and that's why they got into the Big Ten, because they're banking on making $125 million the first year they're in the Big Ten.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Maybe Notre Dame is they're just being dicks. Maybe it's not about money. It's like, okay, we know you want us. We're not going to do it.
When is the Avila Adham boxing match? I don't know, but I wish it was a thing. Actually, not really. I'm not going to fight an older man. But anyways, he could just get fired. Can't we just accept that?
Yeah, don't
I think
fight
that's sustained. That's enough.
What if you kill him? Wouldn't you feel bad?
Oh, I wouldn't kill him. That's not my personality. I wouldn't kill him.
I know, but
would I pay somebody? That's a different conversation.
But you get in the ring with somebody, you got to protect yourself.
Oh,
You got
yeah.
to fight for real.
No, absolutely.
And you may not be trying to, but because the guy's got a big belly, you hit him in the belly one time, that could be it for him.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for us this morning. Alex,
Right.
that's for you. You know what you did. Fish, thank you so much. Have a good weekend. Fish,
Wow, you're
Maddie, have a
actually
good
nice to
weekend.
me.
Terry,
Wow.
you as well.
Shocker.
All of you at home, have a great weekend. If you're going to come down today,
Go
we're
to
going to be
Monroe
at...
Street. I'll be there.
Fish, shut the fuck up.
I'm promoting an
Shut
event
up.
that I'll be at.
Mute your mic.
Screw yourself.
Unbelievable.
We'll be down
what
at
is
the
wrong
Monroe
with these
Street
people?
Midway from 2 o'clock all the way up until 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Be there for the three-point contest. We'll all be down there having a good time. Fish will be down there being annoying. If we don't see you today, we'll see you Monday. Enjoy your weekend and check out Big D Energy live from Feldman Chevrolet at 11 o'clock. See you
Okay.
guys soon.
Can't wait for your surprise.